Today we're looking at the Philips Hue Lily outdoor spotlights. This is a Zigbee-based product, and to really get the best out of it, you're going to require the Hue bridge. This is the V2 bridge if you want this to work with Apple HomeKit. It is a color product. It'll do 2,000 to 6,500 kelvins, 640 lumens, so it's not especially bright, but it's bright enough. It is IP65, which means it will survive sprinklers, rain, those kinds of things. Don't throw it in the pool. It is listed as an outdoor spot, but it is only minus 20 Celsius to 40 degrees Celsius in that range. So if you get especially cold or especially hot, this might not be a product you want to leave around outside during those kind of conditions. The other cool thing is you can get up to 5 of these in a single line, and you've got individual control. So each one of the spots gets exposed as its own device, which is kind of cool. So you can kind of come up with, rainbow effects or these kinds of things. Let's take a look. So this is the intro pack here, and this comes with 3 of the spots in here, which is kind of nice. You've got 16 million colors there. You plug it in, light up outdoors, very clearly marked. Philips Hue. It does. It's clear that it's going to require the Hue bridge, right? It does say that right up front there. You're going to need that. It's not included. Low volt system, again, it's Philips Hue, right? These are incredibly reliable. They've been on the market. Philips knows their business here. So if we're opening this guy up, so as we go through here, it's a Philips product, right? They know what they're doing. They know how to pack the boxes. They know how to make sure that it arrives securely. All the instructions are in there, so if you want to dig into those, you can do that as well. And pulling them out, first impressions here is these are not cheap, but they're obviously built to last, right? They are metal, they're heavy, they're really firm. You've got the mounting, so you can actually screw it directly onto your deck or wherever you happen to want to screw it onto, right? It is really, really solid and put together here. Also included in the package here is the ground spikes, so you're going to be able to take this and also, again, spike it into the ground. These are not cheap little plastic things that are going to break as soon as it gets a little bit cold. These are really, really, really firm, solid metal pieces. We're going to be able to unscrew the bottom here and then screw in the other side again. So you've got the ability to make sure that this thing is going to last, kind of mount it wherever you want to, right? Pretty impressive. So Hue has provided us a couple different ways to mount this, which is really nice. They've also given us the ability to really control exactly where the light is going to go. Do we want to go straight up? Do we want to go straight down? What is the angle of the light? So as you can see here, again, this is really quite solid. This is not cheap plastic, and as you can see kind of how it fits together here, once you've turned it around and you tighten it back up, this thing really vices together. It's not going anywhere. So I'm really impressed. Again, for the price of it, I do expect it to be well put together. But the nice thing is it actually is. So the last of the physical components we're going to look at here are the cabling, is the cable themselves, the power supply. You can see, again, this thing is really well made. It is a thick, weatherproof cable, of course, because it's going to be outdoors, so it's got to be weatherproof. The way they connect in here, you can see that the power supply themselves, this is a low voltage device, but they're going to actually screw in and really tighten themselves up so that you don't have to worry about water getting in here and causing you any problems with the bulbs. Again, these things, a lot of attention to detail, making sure that it is going to survive outdoors in what they consider normal conditions. Normal conditions, again, I live in Canada, minus 20, it gets colder than that, right? So I will not be leaving these outdoors. But what I'm planning on doing with them is I will spike them in the ground. And of course, because I'm spiking them, I'm not mounting them full time with a screw. It's going to allow me to really bring them back in as soon as it starts getting cold outside, right? For the price of these, I don't want to let them risk, going at lower temperatures. It's just not worth it for me. So to connect this light, you're going to have to do this through the Philips Hue app. That's just the way it is. You're going to connect it to the bridge. The bridge will then connect to HomeKit or Madam A or Google Home or whatever. And basically you just add the new light in and you'll see a Hue outdoor spot has appeared. We can rename that in here. The names don't always sync properly to HomeKit. That's just kind of a problem with the whole integration, but it is what it is. So once we're done that, we've now connected that, we can go back over to home and we're going to be able to see that, bam, just like that, the bridge was connected to HomeKit already, and now I've got more accessories in there. So if you can't find something, go look for the bridge and you'll be able to find that, right? So right now the Philips Hue light is in the kids' room. Of course, this is going outside. I'm not going to keep it in the house. So I'm going to make sure I go put it into the appropriate room. So put it on the back deck. This might take a couple seconds to respond, but once it does, there we go. Okay, it's now in the back deck, which is exactly where we want it to be. And we can go in, of course, I can adjust the brightness here if I wanted to. On and off is kind of an easy thing. What I'm more interested in is the colors. So let's go see what happens with the different colors. Blue, purple, it's not overly bright, like it's not like a Life X, but for outdoors, I can see this is really going to have a nice kind of soft lighting effect. And considering this is going to be outdoors, that's exactly what I want. I don't want a bright light shining through my windows blinding me, right? And now we're going to go back over. I'm going to add the second light. So let's flip back over to the physical. So you can see here that they come with this kind of three-way connector here, which is going to allow us to connect the cable both to the light and then through. So you're going to have an in, you're going to have kind of like a vampire tap out to the light, and then you're going to have either the cap, which is going to be able to allow you to close it off, make sure it's safe and weatherproof. So do not put this outside without making sure that cap is on as a terminator at the end. And other than that, we're just going to be able to connect multiple of these lights, again, up to 5 altogether. So eventually we're going to get a couple of these set up, and you can see here that I've got the 2 different connectors here. So I've got it going through. This one's a 3-way, one's a 2-way, because I don't have that third light in yet, although I am going to put that in. And I'm going to just kind of turn the lights here so you can get an idea of the different colors and the individual control. So you can see here I've got 2 of these lights now set up, and I'm going to have the ability to control them independently. So if I was to change the color to red, for instance, you see the one on the right is moving to red or green. Right? Again, this is what's really kind of cool about these. Unlike the Sylvania garden spots where you kind of change the whole of them, at least within HomeKit, the way I've got it set up, this allows you really to be able to change whatever color you want. So overall, I'm a really big fan of Philips Hue. They're doing some really good stuff in the outdoor lighting, which is great because that's kind of where I'm at in my projects around the house right now. What do you guys think? Is this something you would consider putting in your house? Do you like the individual light control? Does it matter to you? Let me know in the comments below. Likes, always appreciated, as are sharing. Subscribe if you haven't already. And if you want to learn how to make your house a little bit smarter using Apple's HomeKit, please check out the video details below where there is a link to my Udemy class.